Hey, what's up everyone? Today I am making this Middle Eastern stuffed squash dish. The Lebanese 7-spice that is used in this dish is packed with flavor and I know you're gonna love it. So let's rock it out. So in this pan right here I have 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil and I'm going to add in 1 chopped onion that my sweet little girl so courteously chopped for me. We're going to saute this around until it starts to become translucent. So once your onions are looking like this, go ahead and add a little bit of garlic to the mix. And this is totally optional and not necessarily traditional, but it is delicious. Next I'm adding in 1.5 pounds of ground beef. It's a little bit frozen, so we're going to have to be patient with it. Of course, I'm going to hit that up with some salt from the salt pig, kosher salt. Just a few pinches, enough to give the meat a nice little covering. And some freshly ground black pepper going on there. Mix it up, cook it around. So now that my ground beef is looking nice and brown like this, I'm going to go ahead and add in some 7-spice. And you only need a little bit of this, 1 to 2 teaspoons, and it's kind of up to you how you like the flavor, but I'm adding in, we're going to call this 2 teaspoons. And if you don't know how to make this, go ahead and click on my recipe for 7-spice. I will leave a link down below for you as well as in the iCard above. I am also adding in the zest from 1 lemon. And I'm using my microplaner here. You can use a zester if you want to, but I really like the microplaner for this because it does a really fine zest, as you can see. Look how teeny tiny that is. I also have a 1/4 cup of parsley going in, as well as a 1/4 cup of freshly chopped mint. And I know you've seen me do it in a million videos, so you already know how to chop your herbs correctly, right? If you don't, go find one of my videos where you can learn to chop some herbs. So now that that has cooked down, I'm adding in 2 cups of rice, and you can use basmati, jasmine, or white rice for this. And I'm also adding in probably 2 teaspoons of brown sugar because we always want that balance between salty and sweet and spicy and all the goodness. And once we get this nice and mixed in, we're going to set it over to the side to cool while we make our sauce that everything is going to cook in. Okay, so in here I have like 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and to that I am adding a little bit of garlic, no specific measurement, but let's call it, I don't know, 4 teaspoons. 4 teaspoons, what the heck was that noise? 4 teaspoons each, and I'm going to saute that around with a teeny bit of salt from salt pig. And to that I'm going to add in a little bit of tomato paste. This is a 6-ounce can of tomato paste going in. And you can go back and scrape that and make it amazing here in a second. We're just kind of mashing that down into the garlic for a minute. A little bit of salt, hitting it up. A little bit of freshly ground pepper. And we're just going to cook this for a second until the garlic starts to get a little bit of color on it. You have to be really careful here because you don't want to burn your tomato paste. So we're kind of making them friends, and then we're going to add in our liquid. So this tomato paste has been cooking for a couple of minutes with the garlic and the olive oil, a little bit of salt and pepper, and we're going to start adding in some stock. I'm just adding in a little bit of chicken stock. This is going to be a total of 1 quart, and if I have to add more, I definitely will, but I'm making this for the squash to cook inside. So this is going to be the cooking liquid that we are going to use for our squash to get all delicious in. And this is my 2nd quart going in. And you may not need all of this. I'm going to add about half, and then I'm going to put my zucchinis in here, but I want to let this cook over to the side for a minute and just reserve a little bit of that. So the next thing that we have to do is stuff our squash. So obviously we need to hollow out a little spot here, and everything that I've ever seen or been taught has said to take a knife and to stick it in here, or an apple corer, but my little girl came up with the most brilliant idea, so I'm going to show you how to make this happen really fast. Turkey baster, you know, you have this for Thanksgiving, right? Now it has 2 uses. We're just going to like shove it. Shove it
Turkey baster. No, it's gonna be amazing, you guys. I'm telling you. You see it making that beautiful perfect core right now? You see what's happening?
We're gonna pull it out. Ready? Oh, look at that beautiful hole it's making. Tap that sucker out of there. So we formed that little core with our turkey baster, and now all we have to do is take a small knife and kind of just like V it out of there, right? Little V cut. Come out! See that? Oh, look at that! Look at that! Alicia is freaking brilliant. I know. And you see all this goodness that we are pulling out of here? Don't throw this away, because you know what we're going to do is we're going to make, not zucchini bread because it's not zucchini, but we're going to make like a zucchini bread recipe with this. And I'm going to leave you a link to it. So here I have my gorgeous hollowed out squash, and what we're going to do is spoon some of this delicious filling into it. So once you get this to like here, you're going to take a tomato piece. This is just like a little trick, what you want to do, because that's going to keep it from like coming out while it's cooking. So we have our little tomato in there, and this dude is ready to go into our broth. And here I have my beautiful sauce, which has been simmering, and I'm just adding those stuffed squash right in to the pot. As many as I can fit, and I have 12. If I have to make a double layer, I will, but hopefully I won't. So now that I have all of the squash in there, I'm just going to take whatever is left of my meat, and it is going to go right on in there with it. And I'll do it better when I don't have a fat camera in my way, but basically this is going to get spread out and a lid is going to go on. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like when you pull it off of the stove, and this took like 35 or 40 minutes, and you just want to be checking the rice and making sure that it is fully cooked. Once it is done, the dish is done and ready to serve, and let's do a plate up. Hey, thank you so much for watching the recipe for this stuffed squash dish. I know that you are going to love it. If you don't know how to make that Lebanese 7-spice, don't worry. You can click on the link in the description or in the iCard and go ahead over to my video that will give you that recipe. You can also buy it on Amazon and at some of your local markets. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Happy cooking, everyone.
BackBiteForever.com